Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and kittens, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I still got my sound going over there. I'm sorry. This is kind of part two, and I have to answer a email I got. I like to get emails because nobody ever writes me anything, but I like to get emails, and this one was specific. Why do I wear fatigues? Why am I up here in fatigues? And I'm happy to answer that one before we really get into it. I'm Navy, 26 years. And the last 12 years are basically we're one big joint fighting force. We all wear kind of more or less the same uniform, and I've been wearing fatigues for 26 years. They're what I'm comfortable in. That's really all it is, bro. I'm not trying to make a statement. I'm not trying to do any of that. These are what I'm comfortable in. I have 50 pair of those, 50 pair of these. They literally gave me a brand new set before I got out. So I'm going to wear them. And it actually segues perfectly into what I want to talk about in this video. And in this one, it is discipline. Now, crypto, blockchain technology, cryptocurrency, it tends to attract a much younger initial investor than the bulk of any other market that you may or may not trade in. We get a lot of young guys over here, young guys, young gals, and they come over here. They effectively know nothing about economics or how this works. Not everybody. There's always a dime in the rough, but on average, they don't have the experience necessary to come over and successfully navigate this space. This space is vicious. The one thing that you have to have more than anything else, more than any other tool that you need to have in your arsenal is discipline. So where I said it segued me over perfectly. I have tons of these trousers, tons of them. They work good. There's lots of pockets. They hold up wonderfully. And I don't have to buy these. I have enough that'll probably take me to the end of my life without ever having to buy a new pair of trousers. So I'm just more or less happy to wear what I already have as opposed to going out and spending money on something else. That's discipline. Now, you might call it hard-headedness. I call it discipline. Why would I spend money when I don't have to? And that's very, very important to have that level of awareness of what money is and what money can and should be used for. It's absolutely critical in a space like this. The thing that gets people burned over here more than anything else is exactly that, a pure lack of discipline. Now, as a veteran trader, as somebody who's been out here for forever, that is effectively how I get paid and how I get paid off is through the people that I am competing against, them not having any discipline, them not realizing profit, them more than happy to act as exit liquidity for me. Now, I'm not out headhunting. I'm not doing any of that stuff anymore. At first, originally when I was in crypto, you bet that's what I did, man. I was a headhunter. I went out looking for people to make bad decisions and getting their money. But anymore, as this space continues to develop, it's gotten so almost ridiculously easy that you don't have to do it intentionally. You can do it organically through discipline. Just knowing when something is overvalued or something is undervalued. Now, the bulk of everybody out here has no idea what an intrinsic valuation is. That means I determine that token A should be trading at approximately this price based on all the information that's available out there. And there is a lot of information that is available out there on virtually every single project, any real project. Now, we're not talking about memes. I'll do a whole separate video on memes. But we're talking about actual legitimate blockchain products, the information that you need to successfully trade in this world. It is out there. If you're willing, if you have the discipline to go out there and actually do real research, not watching other people's videos or them telling you what they think it's worth, because it's irrelevant. An intrinsic valuation is determined by the person who's going to be making the investment, and that's it. There are tons of books that are out there telling you this is how you can determine an intrinsic valuation. It's absolute crap. Because if the person writing the book had the ability to do that, he would have no time to write a book. He would be too busy out there buying low and selling high. Now, What I mean, me specifically on an intrinsic valuation, I'm going to take a cash of all things. I think it's oversold right now. I have pegged that token at about $1.80. That's where I think it should be sitting happily, as at about $1.80. That means $1.80 is my intrinsic valuation. So any time I can buy a cash, and I'm not talking about going all in, because we have to keep up our diversity. But anytime that I have loose cash through yield farming or through some hits, maybe some leverage plays, I am buying up a cash with it because it is oversold right now. That is my opinion. Now, you might have a wildly different intrinsic valuation, and certainly don't use mine. That is just where I put it. That's where it should be, about $1.80. So anytime that it's under $1.80, I consider it a good buy. Anytime it's over $1.80, I'm going to start parting with part of that position because now I consider it overbought. Depends on a lot of different situations. If they're up there shaking hands with NVIDIA, and NVIDIA says, hey, Greg, we'll give you all the GPUs you want, that changes it because now the situation has changed, so my intrinsic valuation has changed. But as everything sits right now, that's where I peg it. I didn't mean to get way off base. I just wanted to give you a real world of example of a token that I'm looking at, what I think it should be pegged at right now, and the way that I'm going to act with the token price currently. Now, Bitcoin's going to throw everything off right now. All right, Bitcoin is always going to be the big dog out here, and it is absolutely going to throw everything off because everything is pegged to it. So when we start getting into liquidity positions and everything else that comes along with that, it's going to change up this number a little bit. But this is all information that you need to keep in your investment bag so that you can start to weather some of these things. Bitcoin's going up right now. Means it's going to carry everything up with it. Does it change my intrinsic valuation? No, because I've already factored Bitcoin into it. But the discipline part is being able to see that token either lower or higher than where you have it pegged and being able to act accordingly. Most people do not. They simply do not. They are more than happy to ride it to Lambo or zero. And that is why they are simply not successful in this space. Over time, they're going to go to zero. So that's what they wanted, and that's what they're going to get. You just have to be able to pull the trigger and not marry your bags. No, I'm not saying it goes to $1.85. I'm going to dump it all. Absolutely not. There are too many events that are into something like this. But if I was buying it at $1.25, which I did, and it goes up to $1.85, we're talking about a 30% spread in there. All right, that is a 30% up from where I purchased it. Doesn't matter on the intrinsic valuation at that point. It matters where I purchased it. And if I bought it at $1.25 and I'm getting a 30% VIG on every single token that I sold, then the ones that I bought at $1.25, I'm going to realize profit on those. If it keeps going, that's too bad. I missed out on gains, but I didn't eat any losses. That is so important, and it just doesn't get mentioned enough. I will happily give up gains to not eat losses. The money that you make right now in a bad market, and this is not a good market, I don't give a damn what that thing says, it could go from 88 to 81 instantly. Instantly. The gains you make right now are exponentially more valuable than any gains that you're going to make in a bull market if we ever get back to one. You need to be able to trade successfully in the bear. And the way that you do that is with discipline. So please keep that in mind before you go and watch the other YouTuber videos that are going to tell you how to 100x a token, because that doesn't happen anymore, guys. Anyway, we'll go ahead and call this one. Questions or comments, Scott@ThePodocasts.com. I answer any and all of them. And until next time, please stay safe. Please be smart with your money, guys. Cheers.